This is easily the best thing I picked up all year, and it's not even close, as it has solved the biggest problem I have on a day-to-day because my laptop literally just became twice as useful for a third of the price. And if you're like me, screen real estate directly affects productivity, especially with video editing. So the more space I have, the faster I work, period. This is the Limink Elite ET14, a 14-inch plug-and-play portable alloy screen extender for both Mac and Windows, as well as gaming consoles and more, but that will fit laptops ranging from 13 to 16 inches. And if your laptop is bigger, they actually have something even better. But honestly, I wasn't expecting the ET14 to be this simple to use, and then not just time-saving, but money-saving, as it just stopped me from dropping $3,000 on a new MacBook Pro that I was just about to buy. So I upgraded my 2015 16-inch MacBook Pro to a more affordable 13-inch MacBook M1 Air all the way back in 2020, and I can't begin to tell you how unexpected of an upgrade it was in every dimension. Well, almost in every dimension, especially with video editing, which I do a lot of across multiple codecs and compressions without proxies, and Apple's M1 Silicon almost 4 years later still does everything I need and more in a compact form factor that's easy to travel with. So it's great for editing on the fly, but far less great as my main studio computer. So I've been really tempted to upgrade again, which means I'll have to drop another few $1,000s more for something bigger and heavier, and then I lose that portability because, as you can imagine, editing on a 13-inch screen is either going to make me go blind or make me lose my mind. Because of the complexity of my editing expands, my timeline keeps getting crunched and harder to see. So really simply, I don't necessarily need something more powerful, I just need something bigger, and not even all the time. And this is where I thought my only option was to get a whole new laptop or desktop, where I'd have to spend more money while losing the lightweight compact Air that I love, until Limink reached out to me to see if I wanted to review this budget add-on that is as affordable as it is portable, that allows me to take it with me if the job requires, or keep it in the studio, and really I have the best of both worlds then. Now, Limink has sponsored this video and I'm grateful, but I only review products if I can review them honestly, and if I also actually need them, as in I might buy it anyways. And frankly, I didn't even know how much I really needed it until I started this most recent edit of mine, where I'm going through hours upon hours of footage from my Google Pixel 8 Pro, my GoPro, my drone, and my 2 full-frame Sonys on my most recent trip to Dubai and Mauritius, where I was on the brink of giving up on these videos until I was saved by a screen extender. So let me just show you what it can do and a few essential tips to get it up and running, especially on my Mac and with my editing software, but it applies to whatever computer you have and whatever you're using. So this is what I've done to not just extend my M1 screen, but now extend the overall life of my laptop. So the Elite 14 is a well thought out portable mobile workstation built from a durable aluminum alloy, which nicely matches my Mac, but it's also meant to withstand heavy use. And it has this patented clip design attached to either side of the laptop, with kickstands on both sides, depending on the angle that you need, with multiple plug-and-play ports and cables included, from USB-A, USB-C, HDMI, and a power adapter too, which thankfully ended up being a pleasant and essential surprise. Yet the whole thing only weighs 1.36 pounds and comes with this really nice carrying case too, so it feels sturdy without being heavy or bulky. So you can toss it in your bag to travel with you separately, or you can leave it attached because of its 210 degrees of rotation for stowing or for multi-angle viewing, which leads to really the most important spec, the views. So how does it look? Now, the monitor's image quality actually surprised me, as first and foremost, it has a bigger 16:10 aspect ratio while featuring a 1500:1 contrast ratio with 400 nits of brightness and 1200p resolution, with a 74% NTSC for optimal color rendering and color accuracy. So in layman's terms, it looks great and actually looks better than my Mac screen. And the narrow bezel also helps keep the display as large as possible, and it's enhanced by this FreeSync technology to prevent tearing and lag. It also has a 180-degree auto sensing rotation, so it's also nice if you're editing vertical videos. And again, it's compatible with multiple devices. And if your laptop is bigger, Limink has a bunch of other even cooler products, ranging in price from more budget options like this one to the more pro ones like the Master LK15, which is a triple tri-view screen extender for laptops that's still portable. So even if I do end up getting a bigger laptop in the future, I'd probably end up picking this up, as this would be my dream on-the-go studio setup. Also with Limink and the ET14, they have a great return policy and warranty, promising a full refund or replacement within 30 days and a free replacement for artificial damage within 180 days. But let me just show you how easy it is to use, set up, and this great hack that I stumbled upon. So the first thing to figure out is the orientation that you want, vertical or horizontal, and left or right. But I put mine on the right because if you notice, I have another accessory attached, as my laptop is not only too small, I also not so wisely bought it with only 500 gigs of storage. So I have attached a 4 terabyte SSD that I keep plugged in on the other side that is attached with a sticky grip pocket so I can remove it without damaging the laptop. Now I'll have everything linked below, but thankfully, the ET14 doesn't interfere with it, so now I have a dual screen M1 with 4.5 terabytes for a fraction of the price. However, because my M1 only has 2 USB-C ports and one for the SSD and one I usually use for power when needed, I was worried I would have to choose between the Limink or power, but because it also comes with an AC adapter, you can actually charge your laptop simultaneously as you're powering it and using the screen. Now this next step is the hack that I almost forgot I could do that has completely changed how I edit from here on out. So once I decided how I wanted the screen, I've plugged it in, so USB-C to USB-C, I just go to the Apple menu, System Settings, Displays, and you'll see Built-in Display and Type-C display now. And this is where you can also go to Arrangement and just drag the Type-C to the left or right, and also adjust multiple settings on the screen from color profile to resolution, and I may change the profile to Rec 709 on occasion or just keep it in LCD. And now the resolution is interesting, so it sets it up to the default 960p and not the higher resolution of 1200p, but I actually prefer the 960 in most cases because it magnifies the screen, but tinker with it to your liking. And another default that I do recommend changing is on the back. There are manual buttons to change the brightness on the screen because it's set to 50%, whereas I always boosted it up to 100%, but that's not the tip. Yet still, once that's all set up, now you can just drag items like Word documents over to the right, which is nice when I'm video editing and trying to write my scripts or voiceovers as I'm watching the video at the same time, or what has really been the editing hack. So my normal workspace layout, which is I spent years customizing in Premiere Pro, looks like this, and it's sort of awful, but it's the best possible layout for the size of the screen for me. And I have a small timeline and a small video window because you usually need to view them simultaneously, or I can expand one, but then I have a big timeline and no video window, or vice versa. Yeah, now obviously I can do both. I get my massive timeline on one side and the full-size video on the other, in which case then you could also change the resolution of the video if you want. But when you unplug the Limink, you won't have your video anymore. So what I forgot you could do is I can save this preset workstation, as you can see that I've done. So I can toggle between the extended workstation or the single with a click depending on if I'm plugged in or not, which may be obvious to you, but it took me longer than it should to figure that out. So now I really get the best of all worlds, my 13-inch lightweight portable laptop as is for editing on the go when I'm traveling or on a job, and I also get a more proper in the studio editing suite where I can actually see what I'm doing across 2 screens. Or again, I can do both, as I'm able to fold up the Elite 14 and keep it attached and carry it with me, or just as easily unplug it, unclip it, and take it with me wherever I'm needed. So I couldn't recommend the ET14 enough, as I honestly wouldn't have taken all this time to review it if I didn't think some of you might benefit from picking one of these mobile monitors from Limink up. If you're like me, a video editor on a stupidly small laptop, or you just want a bigger screen for whatever you do and can't afford to buy a whole new computer. So sincerely, thank you for your time and attention. I have a bunch more videos like this on the way about videos, so consider following along and subscribing. All right, thanks guys, bye.